Kayla from Kayla Crochet Love, and welcome to episode 25. If you're new to my channel, hi there, it's nice to see you guys here. And if you are returning, it's always nice to see you here. As usual, I'll link down below where you can find me on the internet. And I just want to say a huge thank you to all my new subscribers. I just hit just over 300 subscribers, so that's really exciting. So thank you to all my subscribers. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd just be talking to myself. But yeah, thank you. So I've been thinking about it. I might do something for a 300 subscriber giveaway. I haven't really decided yet because I have been very busy. I have two little dogs at my feet right now, but I have been very busy lately, so with crochet and the holidays coming up and whatnot, so just give me some time to ponder it a little bit longer. My dogs are at my feet. I left my door open today in the hopes that my cat would not scratch at the door, but now the dogs are in here. And my Chihuahua, while I was out today, got locked in our bathroom with a cat, with one of the cats. The one cat likes to sleep on the furnace grate, and I think she may have panicked and closed the door when he went in. So he was locked in there. I don't know how long. I was gone for about 5 hours, a little bit more than 5 hours. So he has been being very clingy right now. This little guy here, he was stuck in the bathroom and he's being very clingy. And then my other dog's being jealous because he's being all clingy. See, look at this. He's not normally like this. Yeah. He's a big baby. Okay. Alright. Get down. And Shiloh just keeps digging my leg. Sit down. No. Sit down. They listen great. Here's Shiloh. He needs a haircut really bad because you can barely see his eyes. Okay? Yeah, okay. Alright, I will try and do this without them. If the camera moves, it's because they're hitting the little table that it's sitting on. So yeah, I think it's been 2 weeks since I podcasted, and I have quite a bit to show you and talk about. So we will start with finished objects, and I have to apologize for the light. There's going to be a glare on my glasses. The lighting down here is just not good. I think I may need to rethink where everything's sitting in this room, but we'll just go with the flow. So, first finished object I'm going to talk about is what I'm wearing. So, this I made for a specific reason. And I'm just going to touch on that reason real quick if I can. So, as a lot of you know, I mentioned last year in my 10 non-yarny things about you video that I am a type 1 diabetic. And November is Diabetes Awareness Month. And today, which is November 14th, just so happens to be World Diabetes Day. And the color for diabetes is blue because the international symbol for diabetes is a blue circle. Or a blue ring. So I don't really own any blue clothing, so I decided to make one of my ribbed collar bandana cowls. I'll link to the pattern down below. So I decided to make one to wear just for today. So I made this last night, and I'll just take it off so you can really see the shape. Excuse me. There are a lot of other patterns out there for ones like this. Mine is just a little bit smaller, I find, than a lot of the patterns out there because some of them are really big. And this one is just kind of like a net cozy. And it's a little stiff because I didn't have a chance to wash it. Because I made it last night. It took me about 2 hours to make it. But I have the pattern memorized. So again, I'll take it off just so you can see the colors. So I went with this color, and I used Loops and Threads Facet Stones. Sit down, Rocky. Sit down. So I used Loops and Threads Facet Stones, which is a discontinued one by Loops and Threads. But I used the color Blue Agate, and I really love this yarn. I really wish they hadn't discontinued it, but I know they're coming out with new yarns all the time, which I may have bought some. So I used this one, and yeah, the color's Blue Agate, or however you pronounce that. And it's 100% acrylic, and I used almost a full skein. So there's 243 yards, and I used almost full skein. I had this much left. So with one Facet Stones, you can make this cowl, which is really awesome. It doesn't take much yardage at all. Okay, sorry guys, my dog just fell. He's trying to climb up me, and I'm not like pushing him or anything, but he's falling. So yeah, I made this, and I am wearing it today for World Diabetes Day. So it's special to me, and it's really comfy. So I might do a video a little bit more about diabetes and how I manage it and whatnot later on. I don't really want to get into it on the podcast, but I just wanted everyone to know that this is what I made it for, and I love it. It's so soft and squishy. And I was sitting at my mom's, and I had it up. You won't be able to hear me. Had it up like that, and I was just kind of falling asleep in her chair. So, I'm sorry, I'm really thirsty. It's so dry. It's been snowing like non-stop here. I got my winter tires on today, thankfully. So, anyways, so yeah, first finished object. Next, I'm going to move on to I'm trying to find room. Usually I would just stick it on the floor, but with the dogs in here. There goes the dog again. He just keeps slipping. So this project has been a work in progress that has been sitting inactive for like a year. And I talked about it a few times, and I just never got around to finishing it. But I didn't want to frog it because I had already put so much work into it. And so I decided the other day I was just going to pull it out and finish the cake that was attached to it. You guys, this isn't working out very well. Anyways, moving on. I decided I would at least finish the cake that was attached to it. So I was using Caron Chunky Cakes. I still have one left, but I got so bored of the blanket because it's just the same stitch over and over again. It's not single crochet, I'll show you in a second, but it just got so boring, I find, and I have a hard time crocheting with chunky yarn because this is actually a super bulky yarn. So I finished the cake, and this color is Sherbet Swirl. Really pretty, and I do really like the Caron Chunky Cakes. They're soft, and I think they're just acrylic. 100% acrylic, 297 yards per ball, or per cake. So I used, I think, 4 full balls for that. I won't be able to show you the whole thing, and I will tell you I haven't washed it, and we've already been using it. The animals sleep on it, we snuggle with it. So I did post a picture on my Instagram if you want to see it better, because it is pretty big. It's gonna knock things off my table. Ugh. So starts here, goes here, and it's a nice size lap blanket. Like, I can have it cover my feet, and it goes up to about here, which is where I like it. So yeah, nice size. And I love the striping and the colors. So I had followed a YouTube tutorial for this one, I believe. I don't know what tutorial I had used, but it's just cluster V stitches. That's all this whole blanket is cluster V stitches. And then at the top here I had a little bit left over, and I just wanted to make each end kind of go together, so I just did single crochet. I didn't put a border or anything, I just left it the way it is. But I like it, and it's really heavy because of the weight of yarn you're using. So, nice and big. And thick. So I've been using that one at night. And I'm happy to have that one out of my whip pile. Like I said, I do have one cake of this left, but it'll just probably sit in my stash for a little while. I do have a few ideas with it, but it'll just have to wait. Okay, next finished object. We'll go with this one. So, a couple of weeks ago, I went to a local yarn store that was, it's about an hour away from where I live. Maybe not quite an hour. And I love going to check out this shop once in a while. It's this cute little store. And one of my favorite dyers, which is Leo and Roxy, they were there for a trunk show. And we decided to swing by. Well, my husband waited in the car while I went in. And I wanted to just check out what they had because I love their yarn. And so I bought some. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen this too. It's on their, let's see here, it's their super bulky base. So it's really thick yarn. So I'll show you what I have left that I didn't use. So it's this really thick yarn. It's like a roving, so it's just a one ply, which I love. This is one of my new favorite kinds of yarns. That's what this was too. This is a worsted weight though. This is super bulky. And it's, I have to keep, so there's their tag, but I have to keep doing this because I ripped the label. So this is 100% superwash merino, and it says 235 to 260 grams, and this colorway is Octopus Garden, and I loved it. So they had quite a big table and a lot of their fingering weight yarns and stuff, which were all gorgeous. I wanted to get more, but I had my nephew with me, and he kept wanting to pick yarn, and I didn't have that much money. So, but I was automatically drawn to this one because it was this big, chunky hank. They put it in a hank. So I kept looking at it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself. I'll get that one. And they had a sample for a hat there, and I believe I actually made the same hat. Sit down, Shiloh. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'll get it. So this was a hat that I knit, but I had to buy, I didn't bring them down, I had to buy 10mm knitting needles, and they're pretty chunky. So I started this hat a few days later, and I finished it in an evening. And I'm not a fast knitter, but I could not put this one down because it's so chunky and so soft, and I just love it. I haven't blocked it yet, which I probably should just to stretch it a little tiny bit because it is a little tight on me, but it's this hat. I love it so much. I love the color. Don't mind my head form here. I'll show you how it fits my head in a second, but I wanted to show. So I didn't want to do a complicated hat pattern. So this hat pattern is called The Big Hat by Divina Choi. I will link it down below. Really super simple. And that's what I wanted because I wanted the colors to still stick out. I figured if there was a lot of different stitches, the color would probably look okay, but you wouldn't be able to see the stitches anyway. So it has this rolled brim, so if you want it to be slouchier, you can. And I did put a fur pom-pom on, but it looked too small. So I did make one, which is it's really big. So I'll show you on my head. It'll make my hair all wacky, but... So it's a little bit tight, but it hits like the perfect spot. And if you wanted to, you can roll it down. So it's more like a slouchy, but I just think on me it just looks kind of silly. Although it's not too bad. But I really like the looks of it rolled up. And that was one of the features of the hat that she mentions, is with it rolled up you can see a little bit of the garter kind of thing, or the reverse stockinette here. So I love it so much. But like I said, I think I'm going to have to block it because it's a little too tight for my liking. Just a little bit. But it's so soft. Oh, I just love it. I have a few hats in my collection that I've made for myself that I love. I wore my cable hat today. There's one that my husband keeps wearing. So, yeah. So that's my second finished object. And I will link down below to Leo and Roxy's website. See, my hair's all messed up now. So you can check it out. They do, I think, sell their super bulky on their website. But I think it's limited colors. Because I had never seen the Octopus Guardian on there before. It was just at the trunk show when I was there. And they had a lot of different... They had like a pinky color, a gray, I want to say. But this one called my name. And I'm not much of a green person. But this one has like a little bit of purple and blues in it too. So, yeah. Love it. Really like that one. Did I say that enough? Okay. So I'll talk about these. So, I'm, like I've mentioned before, I'm part of a few Facebook groups, like the Crochet Crowd Stitch Social and stuff like that. And someone had posted a picture of Christmas balls that they had made. So you can use old Christmas balls. I purchased these ones at Dollar Tree. Because I didn't think about using old Christmas balls, and I know I have a ton, so... But anyways, I bought a bunch of these at Dollar Tree, and you crochet around them. She linked to the pattern, and it's, I have it written down. It's the Easy Crochet Christmas Ornament by Rich Textures Crochet. I'll link down to that as well. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, sorry, I got the hiccups. I might link to her YouTube, which has the tutorial on it and everything, and all the links to all her ornaments, because she's doing like an ornament a day or a week or something. I think it's a day for 7 days. Now, the pattern she made was for the bigger ornaments, and I had already purchased all these little ones. So I just modified it. I didn't increase as much. I did fewer rows, and then I just decreased the same amount that I increased. So she recommends using Line Brand Landscapes, so I went and purchased some. So this colorway is Desert Spring. So this is an acrylic yarn, 147 yards. So far I've made 3 with this color, so I will show you. And it's cool because they all come out looking a little bit different just because of the way the yarn works up. I'm just looping them on my fingers. So here are the 3 I've made with this color. And they're really, really simple, but I love the looks of them. So you're just working back loop single crochets. I'm not 100% sure. I can't really remember. Like I said, I'll link to her YouTube channel. And she had some other ones now with color work in them, but I've just needed something really mindless. So yeah, these have been good for that. So I made 3 in this color. And I did buy more colors, which I'll show you with my acquisitions. So I made these 3. And then I dropped one. Ooh. Sorry. My husband noticed this yarn. It's all wound up because my nephew, on the end, because my nephew got a hold of it. It's Red Heart Super Saver, and this color is Mistletoe. So typical Christmas colors. So we thought we'd try that one with one, and I made one, and I like it, but it actually looks really cool on camera. So I guess if it was hanging in the tree, it'd probably look better too. But this is it. I only made the one in this because I really like the ones made with landscapes. So I made those 4 within the past few days. It takes me, now that I pretty much know the pattern down, it takes me about 20 minutes to half an hour per ball, and these, like I said, these are the smaller ones. She said on her website that she thinks you should be able to make one in about an hour, which that would make sense because you have to add more increases for the bigger ones. So I made these 4, and I'm going to make more because I bought more colors. And I still have lots of yarn left, and I thought it would be a really good thing to use up scraps. So I bought the landscapes because I didn't have any scraps of that, and but I wanted to see what it would look like, so that's why I bought the landscapes. And I will probably use the scraps from like my cowl here, because I have that little ball. I'll probably use those. Excuse me. And those are crocheted, which makes sense for rich textures crochet. So the only other finished object I have, it's not crochet or knitting, but it is kind of fiber related. So my aunt recently retired, and we decided that we would try and do a day where we meet up every week and do crafts. So me, her, my mom, and sometimes my sister-in-law. So my mom thought up, well, she saw this idea, I think on Pinterest, I'm not 100% sure, she had bought everything for it, where you use the loop yarn to make wreaths. So that's what we did today. So I made this one today. And then you just buy a whole bunch of stuff from the dollar store, and it has lights on it. Can't really see the lights too well because it's in the light. So I'll turn those off. So it just says peace, and then I just glued some flowers and some bows, and then I just looped some yarn through the top to hang it. And I know it looks like the yarn is white, but it does have some green in it. I think this one might be the loops and threads one. But like I said, my mom bought it all, so, and I really like how it turned out. And then I just, for the lights, I just glued the little battery pack to the back. And so I can take it off if I need to as well. So that's what we did today. My mom and my aunt each made one. My nephew ended up taking my aunt's. My baby nephew was so cute because he went up to her and she had wrapped the wool around it. He took it and he put it on his head. Of course, he has a tiny head, so it just fell right through, but it was cute. So yeah, it's my next finish. It didn't take me long to make it, but it was fun. A lot of fun, really easy. So yeah, you could do this with a kid. It's just one of the styrofoam, you can see part of it here, just a styrofoam wreath. And you just glue a bit of it and wrap it. And you don't have to do it tightly because the loops kind of cover all the spaces. So really easy if you want to do that with a kid or something. Highly recommend. And then she just bought all the flowers, the bows and everything at the dollar store. So nice and simple. And just a relaxing craft to do. I brought my crochet and everything too, but we ended up doing that and that was it. So that's it for finished objects, which is actually quite a few. And I have worked absolutely none. I've done no work on Christmas gifts. And I had every intention of starting in like September, and I did make one, but that's it. I haven't made any other Christmas gifts yet, so I don't know. We'll see. As for works in progress, I only really have one. I did start another shawl, but I only have a few rows done on it, so I didn't want to show it. So, but I have done a little bit of progress on my Bonjour High cowl. Again, not a lot. I had to wait to get my needles off of my other project, which ended up frogging, so and I'm gonna need to switch because my cable's getting too short. So I had done a little bit, probably about here, so I've added a little bit. I've done a few increases. My cat's reaching for it. Minu, sit down. Sit down. But yeah, it's pretty scrunched up on the needles right now, so I still have a long ways to go, but it's fun and it's really quite mindless, so she keeps reaching her paw up to grab it, but I won't let her because this is expensive yarn. So I'm using Malabrigo, and I can't remember the color, but it's this bluey purple. And it's their fingering weight. And then I am using Ella Ray Silky Kid Mohair in the colorway Skydive. So these two mixed together make this. And I really like how it's turning out because it's not really flashy or anything, which is, I mean, I like bright colors, but sometimes you just need to tone it down a little bit. So, yeah, I did that. I'll probably switch my needles maybe tonight, I'm not sure. And I'll link down to the Bonjour High cowl again. It is knitting, but if you're new to knitting, I know it's working with fingering, but it's, like I said, it's really quite simple. And you could probably do it with a DK if you wanted to instead of a fingering weight yarn, but yeah, so that's my only other work in progress. Because I've been making the ornaments and stuff, and this one didn't take me very long. I also love making these because they're very mindless. So yeah, let's move on to acquisitions. So I'll show you my other landscape yarns that I bought. So this one is Tropics. So it's these pretty colors. This color's showing up red, but it's like a fuchsia. And then there's blues and oranges. So I'm curious to see how this one will work up. My cat's moving me. Okay, stop it. So there's that one. And then I also purchased Blue Lagoon. So I thought this one would be nice for Christmas because it's blues and greens. So, very pretty. They're both pretty. They're all the landscapes yarns are pretty. My Walmart didn't have a huge selection. I think the only other color they had was a black and a gray one. Not sure what color it is, what the colorway name is, but I think that's the only other one that was there. And I was like, well, it's not as festive-y colors, I guess. So yeah, those ones. And then, so I had to go to another town for an appointment on Tuesday, and they had a Michael's there. So my mom wanted to stop, and they were having buy two get one free sale. So my mom bought me some yarns, and I had seen these on Bago de Crochet, that she had just gotten some, Crystal had just gotten some, and I thought they were really pretty, and they were the only yarns that I was drawn to there, so I got these three. So again, they're like a roving. So this one's thin. It says on the label here that it's a worsted weight, but that's probably more of a thin DK, I would think. Almost even a fingering. But they were pretty. So their regular price in Canada, they were $9.99. But since they were buy two get one free, we bought two, got one free. So this color is Noble Blush. So it's like pinks, purples, and reds. Really pretty. My mom liked this one. This one is called Esmeralda. There's so many fluffs now, and then my cat moving around down here is not helping. So this one's really pretty. Greens, purples, reds, blue. Really pretty. Oh, I didn't tell you. It's 100% acrylic. In one of these skeins, there's 507.44 yards. So that's a lot of yardage. So that's why I didn't mind spending $10 because, like I said, that's a lot of yardage for a skein of yarn. So got that one, and then this one is Strawberry Wine, and this one is my favorite. It's pink, different shades of pink, white, and brown. Not brown, gray. Looks brown on camera a little bit, but it's gray. So yeah, I got those three. So I'm very happy. I have no idea what I'm gonna make with them, but something pretty. They might just sit in my stash for a while, like my facet stones have been. I still have 4 facet stones. So yeah, those are all my acquisitions, other than my knitting needles that I didn't bring down, because they're boring. I will just say I use the Chiagu needles. I like those most, the metal interchangeables. But yeah, that's all for acquisitions, and I think that's all I have to talk about today. Try to keep it as short as possible. I think my cat wants food. I think that's the problem, so I gotta go up and feed her. And she's right here. Oh. And she's purring away. She's being so bad lately, but she's so cute. She's so cute. You're just staring? you're cute. Okay. Oh. There's a lot of stuff on the floor, and she just happened, actually this area here is clear, but there's one bin on the floor and she happens to hit it. But anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. Again, thank you for all your support. I am very happy to have hit 300 subscribers. Very surprised, but it's a nice nice surprise. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!